Missouri is suing 3 drug makers, accusing them of contributing to the state's opioid crisis. Missouri's Attorney General Joshua Hawley joins us now. Sir, on what grounds are you suing? What are you saying about these opioid makers that suggest they broke the law?
Fraud is the grounds. We're suing because these 3 drug makers have engaged in a campaign of fraud and deception aimed at doctors, aimed at consumers, that deliberately misleads them and in fact lies about the nature of these opioid drugs, particularly how addictive they are and their long-term negative health consequences when prescribed over time. Did
they never say these are addictive? And an experience suggests they are very addictive. At no point did they ever say that?
Yeah, experience does indeed show, studies show that they're highly addictive, and here's what they did. Over a campaign of years, these drug companies spent millions and millions of dollars pushing out literature, bogus research to doctors and also to consumers, saying that the drugs are not particularly addictive, that they can be managed with prescriptions, and in fact, these drugs are underprescribed and underused, is what the drug companies said. All of that was false, and they knew it was false.
We've got, obviously, an opioid addiction crisis, and I don't think anybody doubts that. But if you get these drugs off the market, I mean, if that's the end result, or you fine these people so much that they go out of business, if that happens, what about those people who are in chronic pain and do need extreme pain relief?
Well, the goal is not to get the drugs off the market. There's nothing necessarily wrong with the drugs themselves. What's wrong is how they're being used, and the companies are responsible for a large part of this because of the misinformation, the fraud, the lies that they have pushed to doctors and to consumers. So here's the ultimate goal. It is to get recovery for those victims of addiction who have suffered because of this campaign of fraud and deceit. It's to provide opportunities for rehabilitation, opportunities for restitution, opportunities for recovery, and then to make sure that these drugs are used and prescribed in an appropriate manner. Getting the true information out there, accurate information, is vital to this. That's why we have to stop the fraud on the part of the drug companies.
What about the other side of the coin, which is doctors who overprescribe and continually prescribe these drugs? Will you go after them? Because there have been a couple of cases elsewhere in the country where doctors have been had their license taken away.
Yes, well, and we haven't ruled anything out, but here's what we've found so far, is that doctors have been the target of a campaign by these drug manufacturers, and the 3 in particular who we name in our suit, Purdue, Endo, and Janssen, who have targeted information at doctors telling them that it's okay to prescribe these drugs in mass quantities, telling them that they're not highly addictive, telling them that they are actually underprescribed. So there's a reason that doctors have been prescribing much, much more, many more of these drugs. You know, in 2012, there were 259 million opioid prescriptions written in this country. That is 10 million more prescriptions than we have adults in this country, and that is a result of the drug companies' campaign to convince doctors that it's okay to prescribe these drugs and they need to prescribe even more of them.
Okay, Joshua Hawley, Attorney General of the great state of Missouri, thanks for joining us, sir. We do appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.